One-on-one with Dr. Bob for Mile Split US and DistancePreps.com. Got two of my favorite runners with me. Derek Wehunt from Sickles on the left, John Mitchell from Durant on the right. These guys are out here running the 5K this morning in Tampa. Before we talk about the 5K though, I'm going to start off with you, Derek, and ask you about your impressions yesterday when Ryan Hall came over and talked to roughly about 130, 140 high school kids, and what I thought was a very inspirational time. He talked for about an hour and a half, covered a wide range of topics, and I'd kind of like to get your impression on what your thoughts were on it.
I didn't know what kind of guy he'd be like. Talking to him and hearing what he had to say to us, he was really down-to-earth guy, saying, you know, if you train as hard as you can, you will do like as good as you can and all the potential and all. And really down to earth, and he had a good sense of humor too, and he made a lot of us laugh and stuff. He was a really good guy. Any one takeaway from his talk yesterday? Probably when he said, you know, train your hardest, but then he didn't really want to say it because he doesn't want anybody like to burn out. But it was pretty funny. And then he just said, you know, train your hardest, but work up to it, work into it, so you can do that kind of mileage and all that kind of training. Right. He basically said as a senior he was running 100-mile weeks, you know, and for us to really excel, I think, at that level and follow on in college in the open divisions. Whether you're an Olympian, an elite athlete, a pro, whatever the case may be, it takes a lot of work. It's going to take 100-mile weeks if you're a marathoner, and there's really no substitute for that. Yeah. Some folks, I think, are a little bit injury prone and they're just not able to do it, but if you have the capability, he basically said, don't be afraid of doing the work, you know, and it'll pay dividends down the road. Let's talk about coming up. You guys have just signed with the University of Florida. Yes. Congratulations. Yeah. Thank you. Coach Morgan and folks up there are putting together a real nice team. Any other signees that we know of going to Florida on the men's side? We know of Taylor Lord from Georgia. That will be, he already did sign there, and I know he said there's somebody from up north that's going to be signing there also. So we're going to have a pretty good team. We've talked a lot to you, Derek, about Florida and why you chose to go there. Hey, John, I'm kind of interested in what made you decide to take your capabilities up for Coach Morgan's Gators up in Gainesville. Oh, well, for the longest, I've always wanted to be a Gator. You know, I said if I'd get the opportunity, after looking at a few other schools, I said I'd love to run for, you know, Todd Morgan and what they have up there. And seems like they know what they're doing training-wise, so I said I'd go and try to work underneath the coach that knows what he's doing, so that's what it was down to. Excellent, excellent. Okay, I'm going to go out on the limb here a little bit. If you guys remember, probably 2 months ago, there was a thread on FL Runners about who was going to throw down the fastest mile time. And it's probably going to be one of you guys are definitely going to be in the hunt. I put your name out there, John, as who I think is going to run the fastest mile. And Derek, your job is to make sure that you do it and take it away from him so you can have that glory at the end. That's right. What I want to ask you is what your favorite race is and whether you're going to concentrate more on the half, the mile, or the 3,200. What can we expect this cross-country season, or track season rather, and we'll start with you, Derek. Well, this year, running the 4x8 last year, I do want to get into the 800 a little bit more and see what I can do in that and see what I can do without doing the 4x8. And also, I think I want to focus on the 3,200 because my times haven't really been there for that. So I do want to get a big PR in the 3,200 and also the 1,600. Excellent. And how about you, John? Definitely this year, you know, I'm going to try to focus on the mile, definitely the 1,600, excuse me. But 800 I also want to take advantage of. Last year I didn't really get to do that at States. But that along with the 400. 400 I'm trying to do a little bit more leg speed this year after doing a lot of repeats and stuff like that with slower time trials and stuff like that at practice. So, but time-wise, I'm trying to go about 4:15 in the mile, about 1:52 in the 800, and then for the 400 we'll wing it when it comes around that time. Excellent, excellent. Well, I want to encourage both you guys to come over to Melbourne when the season is done and join in on KB's All-Star Showdown. You sent me a message on that. It's fun. Yeah. It'd be great to see some really fast 1,500, 1,600 times, 3,200 times. Let's talk about this track season coming up a little bit.
Other than fast times, what are you really hoping to get out of this track season? And Derek, I'll start with you because it looks like, you know, you had a rough patch there after cross country was done, but now you've run a fast time up at Gainesville. You've looked great today in the 5K, which we're going to get to here in a little bit. What are your big goals for track season?
For this track season, you know, one, it's going to having to beat John, you know, in a lot of our races. But it's definitely just, I need to get my just get my courage up and trying to get out there and do what I know I can do. We're just gonna go out there each race and just know that I can finish a race and run a good time. I think that's gonna be what I have to focus on this year.
Excellent. How about you, John?
Yeah, this year I think it's gonna be, of course, you know, keeping up with Derek over here, and but just training hard though, and being able to run strong in every race, and that way I can get, you know, the times I need. Not so much, you know, placing so much, but times is what we're looking for this year.
Oh, excellent.
So hopefully I can get that done.
Alrighty, well, let's talk about this weekend. It's been absolutely great. This is my first Gasparilla experience. It really helped to have Ryan Hall coming in town. We watched the 15K go off. He missed the record by about a minute or so, and then we started in on the 5K. And Derek, you went about 15:37, 15:38. Looked really good finishing. And John, we think you went roughly right around 16:20 and looked really, really good. Awesome. You really looked awesome coming across the line finishing. So that really lends me to believe that you guys are in good shape and you're ready for the track season. Impressions on the race today, the 5K, and tell me how it went out a little bit on the fast side and how the race progressed.
Yeah, definitely. We went out around 4:50, 4:55 for the first mile, and just that first mile and a half, just going out, it felt cool out. And then once we turned around for that last mile and a half, it was just blistering hot. And then it did separate from there, and basically that just mile and a half was just trying to keep your pace going and just cruise in.
Excellent. Impressions, John?
Yeah, the race today was excellent. You know, I wasn't really, you know, in the 5K conditioning right now, but I said I'd come out here and wing it. You know, the pace that we went out with was pretty fast. 4:55, I took it out the first mile. Excuse me, Gilbert did. But you know, trying to hang on to him. So, but other than that, it was a good race. Though the weather was nice. It feels a lot better than trying to run in that cold weather. A couple of mornings that we've had. So
yeah,
it was nice weather. I mean, I mean, it wasn't my best time, but it was good for right now. I'm happy about it.
Overall, great experience for you guys. Well, thank you very much. We'll look forward to a great track season. Looking forward to you guys being Gators in the fall.
Thank you.